All right, so this is for all of you who want to know updates about the Gangplank changes. So if you guys don't know, well, let's read the tweet. GP for 12.14. Intent is to weaken his lane power early, move some of his crit incentives out of barrels and into more committal damage, but still bias him towards crit. We experimented with several adventurous crit incentives, but ultimately decided he didn't need it and went simple. So base stats 640 health to 600 health, health per level 104 to 114, base armor 35 to 31. So passive damage 55 to 310 plus 100% bonus AD to now 55 to 310, same as always, 100% bonus AD, same as always, but now 250% critical strike chance. So they're allowing your passive a poop load of damage. Your Q base damage is going from 20, 40, 75, 90, and 120 to 10 to 130. Those little in-between levels don't really matter that much, but at level 3 Q, you'll basically have the same thing. At level 5, you have the same Q. Before that, it's nerfed by 10 damage, then 5 damage, then 0. And then it's a buff after that by 5, and then 10 respectively. So E slow amount, 40 to 80% to 30 to 60%, plus 2.5% per 1% critical chance at all ranks. So bonus physical damage, 80 to 180 to 75 to 195. So again, nerf early, buff later. E bonus damage on crit is currently 25%. Now it's going to be 10%. So you're doing a little less damage with those crits, but yes, 15% less damage. So let's start off with base stats. Basically, Gangplank, they're nerfing early game for Grasp and for Q spam Gangplank, right? Because most Gangplanks, especially in professional play, are dominating lane by winning early game. And they're trying to take the Q, point and click Q domination out of Gangplank. So how are they addressing this? Well, your base health is lower than it normally would, so your grasp is going to do less damage. I don't know by how much exactly, but your grasp is going to do less damage. On top of that, your Q damage is nerfed early as well. So what does this mean altogether? It basically means that your early game from levels 1 to 5 are going to be weaker. Especially if you're playing Grass Gangplank, it's going to be significantly weaker. This is a nerf to all basically autofill Gangplanks and Gangplanks who don't really know what to do after laning phase. They're just trying to make sure that the champion stays more skill intact. And you could see this because if you do the math here, the health per level goes from 104 to 114, meaning that even though you lost 40 health, if you do the math, this is a 10 health difference. You regain that, so if you do the math, it's 10 difference per level. So to get to 640, you'll have to be level 4. No, you'll have to be level 5. Yeah, you'll have to be level 5. So what does that mean? It means level 5, you're going to have your Q base damage back to normal, if not a little bit. Yeah, you're going to have your Q damage back to normal because 3 points in Q is level 5. Your health is going to be back to normal, and then after that, you start to scale up. You start to become a little bit tankier with the extra 10 health kicking in from level 5 onwards, Q damage kicking in, level 5 onwards. Passive damage, they're buffing by adding crit chance. I think this is unnecessary. I think for Prowlers users such as myself, all of us, you see that? That's the LP ladder. We're going to press Prowler auto Q, and if we crit on that auto attack, they will die no matter what. So even, I want you guys to know that they think that the barrel damage is, super OP, and it is, right? It is really strong. But that's not completely where all the power is, right? For all you Prowler users, we're not affected. We are not affected, we are not bothered, and frankly, we do not care. Now, but you might be saying, but what about the barrel nerf, Solar? The slow you don't actually need to be 80%. It's a little ridiculous that it's even that high. You really only need like a 50% slow on GP, maybe even a 60% to really chain your combos. The slow doesn't really mean that much, and if you go my build with double crit cloak, you're unaffected. Because if you do the math, right, it's 30 to 60 plus 0.25% at all ranks with a max of like 85% slow if you have 100% crit. Meaning that if you have 50%, you take half of 25, that's 13. When you run double cloak, that's pretty much what you have. So 13.5 after Essence Reaver, Your slow, well, at level 13, that'll be 72.5%. So you're really losing only 7.5% in terms of slow, which doesn't change anything, right? So let's ignore that. Early game, obviously, it will suck, but we'll get past that. Bonus physical damage, it's scaling to get higher. So again, it's really nice to have that. E bonus damage on crit, this does hurt. This is probably the biggest thing about this whole thing. It's not the health, it's not the Q, it's not the passive, it's this. Well, the passive is pretty big too. So how do you counteract this? Well, it kind of sucks, but they're adding other damage into our kit. So even though it will suck right now, we still overkill people. Despite the durability patch kicking in, if you are somewhat proficient on GP, this won't hinder you that much. This will hinder you in like, I would say like 20% of the scenarios where you might kill someone, which is still a significant amount, but 80% of the time you should still kill your target. So that's all my thoughts on the GP changes. I think First Strike is more incentivized than Grasp is, and yeah, I think Rise of First Strike Prowler's Claw all the way. So to all of you soldiers out there learning GP, entering every game on GP, do not give up. We will prevail. And in addition, I forgot to mention to the GP nerfs, there's Biscuit Delivery. So a lot of people, including myself, take Biscuits from time to time into certain matchups like Jace or even like Rumble. So Biscuit Delivery restores 10% of missing health and mana, changed to 8%, increase max mana by 50 to 40. Basically, Biscuits are taking a hit as well, and everything in the grasp tree is also getting hit. I think this basically means that GP can be more of a first strike heavy champion rather than just being grasp and spam Q. What I'm thinking GP will go towards is first strike with like Trinity and crit secondary, like Collector, LDR, Infinity Edge, that type of build, which is honestly healthier, in my opinion, than the Essence Prowler. I think Essence Prowler is kind of unhealthy for the game, but I still like going it, and it's still really fun. So yeah, just wanted to include this for all of you guys here that pretty much Grasp is going to get nerfed, noob GPs are going to get nerfed, so if you ever want to learn GP, now's the time to, hey, you better start learning quick, and you better start learning pretty much how to play First Strike, or even if you do go Grasp still for some reason after these changes, go Grasp and go Domination Secondary with Treasure Hunter. That way you can still scale. And yeah, that's about it from me, boys. But with the crit changes to your passive as well, I think Trinity into crit will be the new way to go. Maybe you won't one-shot early as much, but you definitely still will do a lot of damage. So that's it for me, boys. Love you all. See you, and peace.